All right. Thank you so much for coming on the show. Really
Thank you
appreciate
for
it.
having me.
Of course, of course. Do you really quickly, in your own words, want to introduce yourself? Who are you and what do you do?
Yeah, for sure. So I'm Amy Taylor.
Mhm.
I've got a TikTok. I wouldn't call myself like a TikToker, but I've got a TikTok account where I put just kind of random
Uh-huh.
videos of like my thoughts, my day, or
Yeah.
I wouldn't say it's got anything like in particular on it. It's just kind of me talking to a camera.
Uh-huh.
But yes, and then obviously kind of my Instagram. I've got like a skipping following, which is completely the opposite to kind of what I have on TikTok.
Yeah, they are very different things. They weren't
Yeah.
expected, and I think that's why I kind of you had mentioned filming something, and obviously that you're going through all that right now. I saw that, so I decided to follow you on Instagram. I didn't know that you had this whole other thing because I'd been following you on TikTok, and I'm just like, oh, okay, it's just kind of like, yeah, your daily thing, doing funny videos, voiceovers, all this stuff. Um, you do so many different things though, right?
Yeah,
Um,
I feel like I don't know how. I don't know how I've ended up doing like all these. I've never
okay.
been someone that can like sit still. If you
Mm,
ask all my
mhm.
friends, I've always had like little
Okay,
hobbies that I kind of like
sure.
just kind of every other week I'm doing something different.
Yeah.
Um, and I think I'll say yes to anything. So kind of the
Yeah.
filming they reached out to me, kind of they saw my TikTok,
Hmm.
reached out to me on my Instagram and just said, hey, do you want to come do some of the behind the scenes kind of features like a supporting artist? And I was like, yeah, 100%, let's do it.
That's awesome.
um
That's really
so
cool.
that's yeah.
What's the so what's this what is this show? It was a pilot, is that correct?
Yes. So I don't know how much I don't know how much I can say,
Oh yeah,
but
yeah,
it's
that's fine.
so it's a student. I'm
Yeah.
gonna get told off. It's yeah, it's for a pilot. So it's a TV show called Students, which is going to be coming out next year.
Okay.
So the filming that I just did was for their pilot. So I went and kind of did all their behind the scenes. I kind of got a few more TikToks that are going to be coming out with like the cast members and things like that, little interviews. But it
Uh-huh.
was so interesting to kind of see the behind the scenes of like filming a TV like program,
Hmm. Had
because
you
I'd
but
never done anything like that.
okay. Well, you had mentioned that you'd acted as a tree at one point. Right. That was a funny story. That was a funny story that I saw. I'm like, okay, you got to roll as a tree. Have you always
Yeah.
wanted to be an actor?
The tree was my proudest moment.
Okay.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
No, so like I said in that video, I was so shy and so awkward at school. Like you wouldn't believe. Like I was just kind of a bit,
Hmm.
didn't have any confidence whatsoever.
Okay.
Um, and when I was choosing to do my GCSEs, I'm not sure what they're called in the States. It's just kind of like end of high school exams and stuff.
Sure.
The subjects. So I did kind of like science,
Mhm.
maths, and things like that. And then we had to choose kind of a few extra, and we're kind of like discussing it. And my parents were like, "Why don't you do like drama just to boost your confidence?" And I was like, "Oh,"
Oh.
and I was like, "Fine, I'll do it." I couldn't think of
Okay.
anything else, so
Sure.
I did it. But rocking up in that drama class, I did not fit in whatsoever. You had all these kind of like extroverts who were like
Yeah.
really kind of big characters, and you just had me in the corner for like 4 years. And it got to the end, and I said to my teacher, I was like, "Look, I've loved doing it,
Hmm.
um, but I don't think I'm going to do well in the
Yeah.
exam. Like, could I just like leave it and just call it a day?" And she was like, "No, just you've gone through it, just do it." But I ended up playing a really rubbish part.
No, I mean, well, I mean, I'm sure it was the best tree. Anyone, nobody could tell the difference, really.
I put all my effort into it.
Yeah, yeah, be like very much a method actor.
Yeah.
Right?
I spent so much time outside practicing.
Yeah, no, absolutely. It's just it's subtle, and you can't overact. So,
Yeah.
no, that's very interesting. So, you bring up an interesting point when it comes to people who are extroverts versus introverts and performance, right? I've said this to other people on the show. I find that introverts tend to be the ones that are better on screen, or
Yeah.
that um, are just or tend to do, or I guess most actors, right, famous actors tend to be introverts, or performers tend to be introverts. But I think it's because you only get snippets and it's a more personal moment, so you can perform to the camera, which is different. Versus in the theater, you really do have to be an extrovert because you have the actual audience there in front of you,
Yeah.
right? So there may
Yeah.
be that difference. Um,
Yeah. I
mhm,
completely agree.
yeah. So how did that translate to TikTok specifically? I mean, was this a platform you'd been using for a while? How did you kind of stumble upon it?
I'm not too sure. I think, I don't know as most people, but it was definitely kind of during lockdown,
Hmm.
and
Hmm.
it was kind of like finding things to do like around the house, and obviously everyone kind of TikTok blew up at that point.
Yeah.
Um, and I started off kind of just doing like the voiceovers, um,
Sure.
and like lip
Hmm.
syncing and things like that. And I just enjoyed like playing around with that. And I can't remember what video it was, where I'd actually like spoken the video.
Hmm.
I think I was laughing at some, I can't remember what it was, but I put it up and people seemed to like it, and I got like a few views. And it's always that thing, once you've got like a few likes and you're like, oh, I'll do it again, and then I'll do it
Right.
again, and it
Right.
just
You
kind of
get
like,
repetitive. Yeah.
yeah.
Absolutely.
It was kind of like took it off from there. But it's going back to kind of like being introverts and extroverts, things like that.
Sure.
It's so much easier talking to a camera
Hmm.
when it's just when it's just me.
Hmm.
When other people are around, you kind of
Oh,
almost
yeah.
have to force the confidence, and it's almost just a bit like it's a bit more nerve wracking.
Absolutely.
Um,
Have you gotten caught doing a TikTok and then it's just you're immediately just embarrassed?
oh my god, yes. Like,
You're
just
like,
like walk, yeah.
you're like they
You think
walk
like
in
no
on
one else
you.
is walking. Yeah,
Yeah,
it's
yeah, they
really
walk in
just
on you and you're like, oh shoot.
yeah.
Have you just kind of begun to just kind of perform to the camera and not care about? Has it boosted your confidence, would you say? I mean, is it, what would you say that TikTok has kind of brought you out of your shell? Because it seems like you were doing other stuff even before this, right?
Yeah, I think slowly but surely, like over the years, I've kind of just had to like break out my shell. Like in school, like I'd never stand up in front of the class and read. Like my voice would go like really, really shaky.
Hmm.
And I'd always like love YouTube and listening to different like people's like podcasts and stuff. And I can't remember what I was listening to, but it was like always put yourself in situations where you're uncomfortable.
Yeah.
To a point, but will that kind of like make you scared, because eventually you just get like it'll like normalize itself.
Hmm.
So at school I'd then kind of, if there was a presentation, I'd always volunteer to just kind of do it or speak in it and things like that, and same through uni. um, and slowly but surely I think I've just kind of like built a confidence, and I think
Yeah.
that's where I am now. And obviously, yeah, TikTok's massively helped, um,
Yeah.
and all these opportunities are coming from it, where I
Hmm.
do just have to like break out my shell and not well, I can't worry about it because otherwise it's going to hinder me.
Yeah, no, absolutely. So
Yeah,
this is your opportunity, right? So you have to kind of take
exactly.
advantage of it. So this is the time, which is, I mean, which is great. It's awesome to see so many people grow and gain opportunities because of TikTok, which is really unexpected. It was not something that I foresaw, but I think the pandemic and all this stuff has really allowed people to shine in a really kind of strange way, in a very
Yeah.
unique way, right? So it's the introvert's time to shine. So
Yeah,
I think that's
I
really good.
completely agree.
What's going on with the jump roping?
Again, this is another thing that's come out of like just a hobby I wanted to try out. So
Okay.
it was again at the beginning of lockdown, and I must have been watching like a boxing.
So this is new. Okay.
Yeah, literally like, only a couple of months. Um, um, but no, so I've always kind of like been into fitness. I did like a bit of
Hmm.
competitive swimming when I was younger.
Hmm.
In uni, I did like lots of long distance running, been to the gym and stuff. So I've always been into like that kind of
Hmm.
thing.
Hmm.
And I was watching like Southpaw or Creed or like a boxing movie kind of
Sure.
a few months ago, and obviously they do all the cool jump rope, and I was like, I'd love to give that a go.
Yeah.
And so I bought kind of like just a cheap rope on Amazon, and I remember that weekend when it came, I could not put it down. I couldn't,
Wow.
yeah. And then I saw there was this like massive Instagram community as well. So you got talking to people, they'd suggest ropes or like tricks you could learn. And for those couple of like, I think it was 2 months, every single day, non-stop, I'd be kind of out there practicing. And it's so addictive, and it's unlike anything, because like running is kind of, you go for a run, the only thing really is how fast or how long you can go for.
Sure.
Whereas with jump rope, there's that, but there's also the next trick you want to learn, or like things like that. It's so much fun.
So it's, yeah, it is different. So it's yeah, I mean, I've done competitive swimming and running as well, and I'm curious, what how is it difficult in comparison? Do you feel like I've never thought of just jump roping alone as like a fitness activity, right? Although it does require a lot of kind of cardio and um, a healthy heart and all this stuff. Do you feel like it really has developed your um, your fitness?
Okay, perfect.
Yeah, so I guess in comparison to swimming and running and having done all of these things myself competitively, I mean, jump rope has always been a supplemental tool, right? How has it developed your fitness? Is it, how, in comparison, do you see it as a standalone thing, or can you really get like in shape just jump roping?
Is it recording? Okay.
Yeah, yeah.
Oh, is it?
Yeah, it's recording, but it's fine. I don't know what's going on. Did you catch anything? Yeah, absolutely.
Should I go from where I was just?
So I think from where, as far as, did you catch what I said about it being kind of a fitness tool of its own?
Yeah.
Okay, so yeah,
Yeah.
from
Okay.
there.
Yeah. So I think I use it. So I started using it at the beginning of lockdown, kind of just to supplement like my running and things like that.
Mm-hmm.
But eventually it got to the point where I was doing it so much that I'd be skin and bone if I was doing both.
Okay.
So now most of my workouts are just kind of jump rope. So throughout the day I'll learn kind of like a different skill maybe, and
Sure,
then
sure,
in
sure.
the evenings I'll do more of a like a 30 minutes kind of hardcore jump rope. And you've got different like types of ropes. So I do kind of a mixture of like speed endurance work with, and then
Mm-hmm.
some heavy ropes which kind of like build your physique.
Yeah.
And then along that, and then I'd finish it off with kind of just half-hour weights or body weight stuff.
Okay. Okay. So it's a whole body workout. That's just one component of the whole thing. Okay, I got it.
Yeah.
Okay. So, but you do videos. I've noticed that you do videos for people to kind of show them the workouts, right? So I guess this is all new to you. A lot of this stuff that I'm seeing on social media, this is all fairly new. Who were you before this? What did you do? I mean, what's your
That's a
background? Like,
brilliant question.
yeah, what were you doing with your life before the pandemic?
You know what? I'm not even sure anymore.
Mm-hmm.
um, so before that, I just left uni. Kind of, I think I was just very into my work, because I've obviously got like a full-time job like on the side of this,
Mm-hmm.
and kind of I was very focused on my career,
Okay.
which I still am. But
Okay.
I still was doing a lot of that, and then
Sure.
obviously kind of a lot of just going out and seeing my friends and just being kind of like a normal
Young person, yeah.
like 20 or yeah, just kind
Yeah.
of just doing like normal things and just going out. So
What did
and
you
I've
study
always
at university?
biochemistry.
Okay. That's great. No, I think that's amazing. I'm taking chem right now. I decided in my 30s I'd go pre-med, so we'll see how that goes.
Oh
But
really? That's
yeah,
amazing.
thanks. I appreciate that.
No, it's gonna be great.
Yeah, yeah, it's a long road ahead, but biochemistry, that's a quite an interesting field. Do you use it in your career? I mean, is that something that you're doing?
Yeah, a little bit. So I work in pharmaceutical communication. So
Okay.
it's basically kind of um, you'd have like a drug or and something like that, and you might be it's different every day or different accounts. So you might be producing materials for doctors or patients, or doing like disease awareness campaigns and things like that.
Okay.
And some accounts are definitely like more science heavy.
Mm-hmm.
Some accounts are definitely more creative, but it's nice in that I kind of get to use the two, because I definitely think I'm more of a creative person, but
Sure.
it's like my degree hasn't also just gone to waste.
Mm-hmm. So you can use it because you do understand the content itself and how it needs to make sense to everyone else, right? So you're the
Yeah.
mediator, right? Okay, that makes sense. That's very interesting. How did you end up doing that? I mean, as an introvert, was it something that you always wanted to do growing up? And
um
yeah,
I don't think I have ever had like a set path, as it like where I
okay,
like want to end
yeah,
up.
yeah,
um I think I've just always gone with the flow, and I think that's how I've kind of ended up in the situation I am now, really. I've just
sure,
kind of seen where things go. So in school, I loved my dad did science. I think he did
okay,
physics.
okay,
So he was very keen for all of us to kind of do kind of science as well. And out of them, I just loved some aspects of biology and some aspects of chemistry. So when it come
okay,
to choosing what I wanted to do for uni, biochem was just the perfect option.
okay,
Yeah, and then after looking at jobs at the end of my degree,
hmm
I found this one, and it seemed to fit perfectly into kind of what I was looking for, and that's yeah, had the same job ever since, or stayed in the same place.
No, that's
Yeah,
good.
so
I mean, that's important. And what's your family like? I mean, your dad is a scientist. Do you have siblings? I'm assuming you have a mom.
yeah, yeah, yeah. So my dad, he works in computers.
Oh, okay.
Do not ask me what, I don't know.
Sure,
but
sure.
but I know
Okay,
he works with computers. Very intelligent man. Um,
good.
my mum, she's equally as intelligent again,
Mhm.
but very much more creative. So I think I've definitely got
Yeah,
the kind of like the best of both
the
worlds.
balance, right?
Yeah. So she's lovely. Everyone loves her. She's so sweet.
Oh, that's
Um,
good.
and then I've got I'm the eldest, and I've got two younger
Mm,
siblings. I've got Emily, who's my sister. She's 2 years younger, but we grew up like twins.
okay,
So
you're
we're
so
super
close.
close.
Hmm.
Yeah, which is really nice. And then I've got my brother William, who is I think 7 years younger, so a bit.
Wow.
But
Okay,
now
that makes a difference.
but now he's like getting a bit older. He's 16 now, but he's grown up a lot, and we like, you've probably seen him on my TikTok. We have so much fun together, and we're again
Yeah,
like best friends.
yeah.
So we have. I'm really lucky in that we have like a really nice family relationship.
That sounds really great. I mean, you sound like you're very stable. That's a very good.
I
That's a compliment.
won't go
That's a
that far.
compliment. No, 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 no. That's very good. No, it's it's always interesting. I think I asked a lot of questions about like people's background. Is just what made them who they are, right? So
Yeah,
so obviously your parents with the science, the creativity with your mother, and all of this stuff. I mean, and then being the oldest child of three, also, I mean, I'm sure that contributes to a lot of stuff as well. And I mean, so many different things, right? What could be even cultural things that kind of bring you can kind of bring into who you are, how you look at the world, and make you successful. I would say, because you
yeah,
are one of those people. It seems like you put your mind to something, and then you do it, and it seems like you're pretty good at most of the things you do.
yeah,
But I don't know. I
yeah,
don't know. I haven't seen the pictures, right? So
no,
is that
yeah.
am I accurate?
Um, well, I had to go at watercoloring like a few months ago. I was not any good at
No.
that.
Okay. Okay.
I'm not good at that at all.
Okay. So
But
no watercoloring.
no, no, drawing is a no go.
Okay.
But yeah, I think I've just, why say no? If something comes up and it seems like a great opportunity, I'm always there to just like go out and try something new, because like I don't want to
Yeah.
get, I think I don't want to be one of these people that get to the end of their life and look back and think, oh, I should have done that, or what if I gave this a go? Because
Mhm.
it's one of those things, like, you'll never know unless you've done it, and
Right.
you'll never fail at something if you don't try it. But you could, no, I don't know what I'm trying to say here, but
Like,
yeah,
yeah,
but like, it's
you'll
not,
never know
yeah, it's
unless you
not a bad
try, kind
thing.
of thing.
Yeah,
Yeah.
exactly.
Yeah, absolutely
Yeah,
get that. And you have to be prepared for the opportunity as well, right? So sometimes opportunities come along and you have it within your means to be able to take advantage of said opportunity. Maybe sometimes it's just not good timing, and that's okay.
yeah,
Um, or you create your own opportunities. I mean, I think TikTok is one
exactly.
of those devices and one of those platforms that's allowed a lot of people to just really kind of do their own thing and develop themselves, cultivate a following, and then you can just lead your followers, because at the end of the day they're there for you, right? Certain content, of course, you got to stay on brand,
Yeah,
whatnot, but for the most part you have to have um the following that they're basing it around you. They want to follow you, they want to see what you're doing, so you could be doing a different thing every day, but people are
yeah.
you, right, your personality. um so what have you noticed as far as your interactions with people? Obviously, I found you in there, so this interaction came out of that. What's changed? What have you seen out of kind of like TikTok and the social media kind of like uptick in following?
I've definitely, like, it's the
Mhm.
opportunities, especially over the last couple
Sure,
of weeks.
sure.
Um, Obviously, there's the thing,
Hmm.
like, different companies reaching out in terms of just kind of ropes and wanting to, like, work with me.
Oh yeah, you got
Obviously,
sent a rope recently. Yeah.
yeah, and then there's a company called Dope Ropes,
Hmm.
a great guy called Kian who reached out to me, like, right at the beginning when I first started skipping, helped
Yeah.
me. And he now kind of sends me roads, and we, like, obviously help each other out in terms of promotions and things like that,
Sure, sure.
which is great. And then it seems like everyone kind of finds me on TikTok. I've got a better following on TikTok than Instagram, and then kind of like finds my Instagram and goes through that. But
Hmm.
it's just it's nice to see things like coming out of it, because I never
Hmm.
thought that it'd go anywhere. But slowly I'm kind of like starting to think, like, maybe if I like keep putting effort into it, it could lead, like, to something else.
Hmm.
Because all
Hmm.
these great opportunities, like, like keep popping up.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, what are your, obviously it's very easy to kind of call it future tripping, to think about like, oh, the potential.
Yeah.
And get caught up in thinking about that. I'm very obsessed with it, honestly. A lot of the time I do the same thing. Um, are you at this point, do you have goals with around based around this? I mean, obviously you're gonna keep doing your day job, but is this, what are you hoping for? I mean, it's not something you expected, but now that you're here, do you have an idea as to where you want to steer the ship?
I don't. I think, again, it comes to that thing
Sure.
of just going with the flow.
Okay.
I think as soon as you put not have goals, but as
Hmm.
soon as you um put a label on something, or you kind of um or in terms of, in my experience, if I get too hopeful and too kind of wound up in everything,
Hmm.
that takes over. So for me, I'm very much a person that just likes going with the flow, and then
Mm.
wherever I end up, I'm never disappointed. Um, but obviously I want it to go somewhere, and like keep building a following, and I would love to see what could come out of it. I just don't have an idea of what could be.
Sure.
um
You're just
but
happy with
again,
what it
it's,
is. Yeah, yeah.
yeah, yeah. But it could just be one of those things where I'm just kind of like downplaying it, and I just, because if I get too excited, I probably just, yeah,
Absolutely.
like,
Absolutely. You're trying
yeah,
to, that you know, you should have a lot of humility. You are, it's, and I think it's important. You're keeping, I like the expression, keep your head in the clouds and your feet on the ground. Um,
yeah,
right. So it's very exciting, but you got to remember that, yeah, you're here because of the work that you're putting into it, and you're consistent with your content and with all this stuff, success is always a byproduct of hard work, right? Or consistent work. Um,
Yeah.
right. So that as long as you keep doing that and keep the formula the same, you should be fine. Um,
Yeah.
so that's all very interesting. How are you dealing with, I mean, being in the UK, how is everything? What are your thoughts, I guess, is my question. What are your thoughts on, and I don't think it's going to happen, the potential ban of TikTok in the US? I mean, how much of your following comes from the US?
I think I don't think a large amount comes from the US, if I'm honest. I think
Hmm,
most of the people are kind of UK or like a European.
really? Okay.
Um, I think so.
I'm
Um,
wondering how I came across your profile then. Okay.
yeah,
Hmm,
I could be completely wrong. I
I don't
could
know.
be.
Yeah.
But what are my thoughts on it? Um, if I'm honest, I
Mhm.
don't see it happening.
Sure.
But that's just me being hopeful.
Uh-huh.
Um, if it did happen, I think it'd ruin TikTok. I think there's a bigger following on in like the US, and
Mhm.
especially all the things that pop up on my feed, especially.
Yeah.
99% of the people, it seems like American, and I think it'd be a complete shame, because I don't think you'd see the app in the same place it is today. It would definitely, we wouldn't be able to keep growing, in my opinion.
Yeah, no, absolutely. It's kind of taken on the on a life of its own. I mean, it's attracting so
Yeah.
many different people that otherwise, I mean, I think the pandemic really kind of helped it. Surprisingly, it's a lot of bad stuff is happening in the world right now, but it's really strange to me to kind of see that a lot of really weird opportunities have come up and these communities have cropped up, right? TikTok is a platform, in my opinion, that has, I've never felt kind of more um, accessible to people, or I've never felt like I've been able to reach out to people more than I do now via this platform. I think it's very easy to connect. It's fun. Um, there's not a lot of politics on there. There's not a lot of this stuff,
Yeah.
right? So it's very much just a community and a place for people to go to just kind of disconnect from the world, which is, I think, amazing. Um,
Yeah.
right. And I've noticed that. I mean, from the people that I follow, I'm going to have a good time. I'm going to learn something. I'm kind of a nerd, so I like a lot of science stuff. Right. So I'm always learning different things about lakes and oceans and who knows. But it's there's something on there for everyone. So yeah, it would be sad if it got taken down. I'm curious as to, and I've asked a couple of people that I've interviewed in different countries. Call me Chris. She's in Canada, and she was my last interview. And I was asking her and I'll ask you the same thing. What are your thoughts on the U.S. right now? I mean, is that something that you want to comment on? And that's fine if you don't. But what do you think? Like, it's kind of chaotic. The pandemic is going crazy. What are the feelings in the UK about what's going on over here in general? I mean, socially, anything.
um to be honest, I haven't really given it like
Hmm.
too much thought.
Hmm.
um and I always find it tricky, because I feel like you're always going to offend someone in these
Oh, I mean,
in
yeah,
these
absolutely. Yeah, it's
Yeah.
like you can never say anything right. So like, it's you can never keep everyone happy, right? That's a difficult
Yeah.
thing to do. So I mean, at the end of the day, it's just if you don't know, that's completely fine. We don't have to talk about it. How are
No, I
things in
think
the
it's one of
UK? I
those
mean,
things where,
yeah, yeah, go ahead.
no, it's just where I couldn't give you like an informed opinion. I'd
Hmm.
uh because it's one of those things that you'd need to like, you couldn't just give like a comment for the sake of commenting. I don't
Sure,
know, like I
sure.
wouldn't want to. Yeah.
Right,
um
because you don't know every side and you don't have all the information.
yeah,
I mean,
exactly,
that's fair.
exactly, yeah.
That's completely fair. How are you? Are you living with family? How's everything? How's the pandemic kind of affecting you? Obviously, you found a lot of success during this time, so you may feel conflicted because it's like you're actually lot of good stuff is happening for you.
Yeah.
It
Oh my
seems
God, I love it.
right. So it's like it's very conflicting. Like, wow, the world is kind of in a weird place right now. How are you? How are you feeling? How are you experienced? What's your experience been? How's your family's experience been through this time, through
I
2020?
think I think crazy, hasn't it?
Mm-hmm.
I think lockdown happened on my birthday.
Oh,
We were
when
going to
was
go
that?
to,
When's your birthday?
I think it was 24th of March, it
Okay.
happened in the UK, 24th
Okay.
to 23rd it happened. And it's just been, to be honest, it was quite hard at the beginning,
Mm-hmm.
because obviously we've gone from just going out and living almost our separate lives,
Yeah.
and all of a sudden we're spending 24/7 together in a house, and I've literally only kind of moved back into my family home a
Mm-hmm.
few months after the pandemic, and with the intention of moving out fairly soon.
For sure.
But that kind of like put my plans on hold, and it's just been a lot of family time.
Mm-hmm.
But my mum's kind of like working in the lounge, my dad's got to study, I'm in the kitchen, I'm in a room, Will's kind of like in his bedroom too. It's taught us a lot of consideration for one another, a
Huh.
lot of patience,
Sure.
but it's been nice to kind of, I think it's been nice for everyone just to have that downtime. I think we're getting to the point in like socially where it was kind of all about going out and seeing friends, and
Mm-hmm.
a lot of social media was kind of oh, look at what I'm doing. And I think it was just
Right.
nice that everyone was on the same playing field. No
Uh-huh.
one could go out and do anything. Everyone was kind of like in their houses, and
Right.
it was just nice to go back to like just like connect, like just being with your family and
Uh-huh.
finding things to do and things like that. And that obviously people found TikTok or a new
Mm-hmm.
hobby, or
Mm-hmm.
um I
Yeah.
think the best things come out of boredom, and I think that's
Mm-hmm.
what the pandemic's allowed a lot of people to do.
Yeah. Reconnect with yourself and not having to constantly compete with everyone. It's
Yeah,
that's something that I definitely have realized as well. For some reason, I feel like I can breathe and
yeah,
I'm relaxed. Like the weight's been taken off my shoulders to be better or to, be as good as anybody else on social media. Because yeah, again, everyone's on the same page. Everyone, it's a level playing
yeah,
field, and you don't have to worry about that. So now you can just focus on the important things, which is at some like at a time like this, all you really can do is reconnect with your family. Um,
yeah,
so I'm sure that's been interesting. And a lot of people are moving back home because of just the way that the world is kind of working right now. So
yeah.
um, that's very, I mean, this all seems very exciting. What else do you have coming up? What's in the pipeline? I mean, what do you have coming up for you? Any cool projects, anything you want to plug?
At the moment, I think after these couple of weeks have been like crazy. I've
Hmm.
just been super
Hmm.
busy, and I've still got like a bit of work to get done. But I think there's going to be a bit of downtime, which, like I said, I've always got projects on the go, so I'll probably
Yeah.
fill it with. I've got some ideas in my head. I don't know. Um, I've
Like
always kind of
ideas
like
for
wanted to
yourself?
start up like a,
Hmm.
yeah, I've always wanted to start up like a business of
Hmm.
some sort,
Oh,
and I've been
okay.
thinking about it for a lot of time. I had something planned before like the pandemic and things.
Sure.
So I think I'm just going to play around
Hmm.
with the ideas that are in my head and focus kind of on the projects that, and start kicking things off. I think for a long time it's um I've had these ideas of things that I want to do,
Sure.
in terms of maybe launching a brand or some I don't,
Yeah,
still
absolutely.
completely like at concept stage.
Hmm.
But I think this has allowed me to gain a platform and a following, that say if I was to ever do something like that, um,
Yeah.
then I've
And
got
you
people that, yeah, I've
have your
got I've got
target
like some
audience already.
foundation.
Yeah,
Yeah, which is
absolutely.
amazing. And I think it's been like a blessing in disguise that I've
For sure.
always had to hold off on um kind of launching anything that I was going to say do before the
Hmm.
pandemic,
Hmm.
because otherwise I'd have gone in and probably flopped. But
Yeah.
now I've got this
Hmm.
platform and these these people that kind of seem to be interested in what I'm saying, that yeah, could potentially like obviously like help me. So I think future I'm just gonna start working on things that ideas I've always had but haven't had a chance to do.
Yeah, absolutely. It's your dreams. I mean, when you're a kid, you have this idea, or as you get older, as life goes on, you have an idea of what you want. But it's interesting. You get to a point where you look back and you're like, oh wow, I did get what I wanted. It just didn't look how I thought it would.
Yeah.
Which is always an interesting situation. It seems like you're kind of going through that, right? Like this idea of just like, oh, I've been wanting to do this for a long time. You never thought it would look like this. Like never
Yeah.
could you have thought that it would look like this, but here you are on the precipice of it, and it could be potentially very, very successful and very amazing, you know. And
Yeah,
I think that's wonderful,
absolutely.
right? And I think
Yeah.
it goes to show that you're the type of person, yeah, that goes with the flow. Um, so that's something that's very important, right? You seem to be a pretty esiggoing person. I mean,
Yeah.
is that who you are in general?
Yeah. um I, I'm gonna say I
Oh, you're
think
like,
so.
no, I'm pretty angry.
No, I'm crazy. um I try to be.
Oh, yeah.
I think I think yeah, I think I am. I'm always, like I said earlier, I'm always up for doing anything and going with the flow and just seeing where things go. But I always blame my mum for it because she's Mexican, so she's got a Latina personality, and I definitely think
Yeah.
we've all been blessed with a bit of that too.
Oh no, absolutely. Yeah, I'm Mexican as well. So, well, born in the U.S., but Mexican as well. So I get it. There's that fiery passion, and
Yeah.
which is, you know, which I think that's maybe the fire that's in you that kind of burns brightly on screen or does all this stuff. So that's really great. I mean, um, that's interesting. That you know, Mexican in the UK, but I guess we're everywhere.
Yeah.
It's are you pretty in touch with that part of yourself, that culture, with your mom's culture?
Definitely when I was a lot younger,
Mm.
we'd go over there kind of every other summer, see the family, and spend kind of like summers there. Spend
What part of Mexico?
all over the place. My mum's one of 8, so
Oh,
she was
oh
born in
wow.
this.
Yeah.
Yeah, so she was born in the city, and then
Hmm.
everyone's just kind of like dispersed, which is great because when you go over there, it's just like a road trip, and you got to stay like
Yeah.
you always got somewhere to stay.
Hmm.
Um, but it's a shame, like as kind of like we got into uni and now work, it's a lot harder
Yeah.
to find the time to go over there.
Yeah.
But whenever we can, we'll always like meet up somewhere, or
Hmm. Hmm.
if they're over here, or like even if they have a layover, we'll go see them and
You have a lot of
spend
cousins,
some
I'm assuming,
time.
as well.
Yeah, so many cousins. Yeah.
So many cousins, so many. I'm like, okay. I mean, we're related. What?
Yeah.
So I'm like, I've never met you, but okay. No, absolutely. That's awesome. That's really good. You know, I think it's Mexico is a very fun and beautiful place and has a lot of really beautiful traditions. Same thing happened with me. I got into the university and I just fell off with it. I got busy.
Yeah.
I started having a lot of. It was easy because my mom used to just drag me down, right? And I'm so much closer than you
Yeah.
are, so it may be different. But um, I mean, I'm only technically 4 hours away from my parents' hometown, right?
It's
In
crazy.
Mexico. Yeah. So it's not too
Wow.
far. It's not too far away. So, but even then, like it being so close, it's just life starts happening. And when I was a kid, we
Yeah.
would go there more frequently, and but it definitely becomes a part of who you are, and what you do.
I
And
think so. I think my mum's like,
uh-huh.
yeah.
Yeah. Do
It's
you speak
probably
Spanish
the
as well?
same with you.
Yeah.
Pardon?
I'm sorry, you were breaking up there for a second, but I was wondering, are you fluent in Spanish?
I definitely was a lot better when I was a lot younger. I think it's one of those things when if I go over within a week, I'd be fine. But right now I'm a little rusty.
Okay, which is fine. You know, no pressure. I'm sure you don't have to speak too much Spanish out there. So I think you'll be fine.
Yeah.
I think it'll be
This
fine.
interview can't change languages right now.
Yeah, no, absolutely. Okay, that's awesome. Is there where can people go see your? Was there links? Where can people find you? What's your handle? How can people kind of maybe uncover what you're doing next? And
Yeah, so I've got my TikTok, which is probably where I post like most often, and
sure.
that's Amy Taylor and then 111.
Mm-hmm.
And then my Instagram is again a bit more live stuff, a lot more skipping.
Sure.
But that's Amy Badijo Taylor, so that's my Mexican middle name. So it's Amy and then Badillo Taylor.
Okay. Okay. That's awesome.
Yeah.
That's really awesome. Again, thank you so much for coming on. I really appreciate it. I'm excited to see what you do next, right? Definitely keep posting. Let us know what's going on in your life. And I mean, if we can help, plug your business once it gets off the ground and running, I'm more than happy to help plug that for you.
Amazing. Thank you so
Yeah,
much.
at least, it's whatever we can do, it's, this show's about helping people out, getting the word out about like all these amazing people, their stories, what they do. So I'm super excited for you to be on here. So definitely let us know if there's anything we can do to help. I'm going to hit pause here in a second, but if you guys are listening, thank you so much for listening. We really appreciate it. Remember that we love you guys, and we'll talk to you later. Bye.